How many of you have green thumbs? When I was your age, I enjoyed spending time in the garden with my grandpa, and I would look forward to a new season of growth. While it may seem like we have to wait a little while for all the snow to go away before that time of getting our hands in the dirt can happen. Well, how about we do an experiment and explore this idea of something called winter sowing. So today, you guys are going to be experimenting with something called winter sowing. This is where we're going to use just regular everyday containers and create mini hoop houses or greenhouses, I should say. So winter sowing is a way that we can start little seeds in the winter outdoors by using the protection of these little greenhouse climate, the little greenhouse climate made from these recycled milk jugs and other containers. This technique is especially good for flowers that need a cold cycle to germinate, such as perennials and plants. This is an excellent way to beat the January blues, or I should say winter blues, and get a jump start in our growing season. Also, it's a great way because the way that God designed our native plants, the ones that feed so much of the wildlife around our school, they have to go through something called a stratification process, which is those seeds actually have to get really cold in order for that seed coat to come off. So we're going to help jumpstart a new plant by giving it a space that it can safely grow and get to watch in the fun process of experimenting through the creation of these mini little greenhouses. Now that you saw a little bit more about winter sowing, hopefully in your mind you're thinking of some ideas or plants that you would like to help grow. Well, before we can do that, we have to be a little bit more scientific than they were in that video. For example, I wonder if a green container influences how the seeds germinate. So in a controlled setting, we would have a green container and a clear container. Now, thinking about that experiment, there would be some variables. So as you think about that, what are some variables that you would have to control? For example, if already we know we want to compare the green container to a clear container, there are things with the control that we have to keep the same. So we wouldn't want to have more soil in one container than the other, because then we wouldn't really know, was it the green container that influenced how the seeds germinated, or was it the clear? So as you think about your experiment and what do you want to test, what variable do you want to test, we need to keep some things the same. So those are your controls. So that would be soil amount. And as you're thinking about it with your team, hopefully you'll think maybe the number of seeds are the same. I don't want to give away all the answers. So on your paper here, this is your tool to come up with what question are you going to investigate with your sowing containers. And using this paper, use it as your tool to create your experiment. So that way we can be scientific and come up with some answers to questions. Does it matter if it's a green container or if it's opaque? Ooh, do you remember from second grade what opaque means? So we'll be walking around helping you guys as you fill in your activities sheets here. But before you get to have the materials that are set up in your class and create your experiment, you need to be scientific as you think through these steps. Looking forward to seeing what grows. And last year we had some sad things with the school shutting down, so we have new hope that this year we can actually get out and watch what happens to your containers.